This is Land of Havilah, Psalm 10, 18 verses. This is a psalm for all those times it seems the wicked have their way, that they prosper without end, and will never face justice. Verse 1. Why do you stand far off, Yahweh? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? In arrogance the wicked hunt down the weak. They're caught in the schemes that they devise. For the wicked boasts of his heart's cravings. He blesses the greedy and condemns Yahweh. The covetous, the wicked, in the pride of his face, has no room in his thoughts for God. His ways are prosperous at all times. He's arrogant, and your laws are far from his sight. As for all his adversaries, he sneers at them. He says in his heart, I shall not be shaken. For generations I shall have no trouble. His mouth is full of cursing, deceit, and oppression. Under his tongue is mischief and iniquity. He lies in wait near the villages. From ambushes he murders the innocent. His eyes are secretly set against the helpless. He lurks in secret as a lion in his ambush. He lies in wait to catch the helpless. He catches the helpless when he draws him in his net. The helpless are crushed. They collapse. They fall under his strength. He says in his heart, God is forgotten. He hides his face. He'll never see it. Arise, Yahweh God. Lift up your hand. Don't forget the helpless. Why does the wicked person condemn God and say in his heart, God won't call me into account? But you do see trouble and grief. You consider it and take it into your hand. You help the victim and the fatherless. Break the arm of the wicked. As for the evil man, seek out his wickedness until you find none. Yahweh is king forever and ever. The nations will perish out of his land. Yahweh, you've heard the desire of the humble. You'll prepare their heart. You'll cause your ear to hear, to judge the fatherless and the oppressed, that the man who's of the earth may terrify no more. Comment in verse 1, why do you stand far off, Yahweh? Why do you hide yourself in times of trouble? End quote. It's not a statement of fact that God stands far off and hides himself. It's a feeling that comes over us when we're faithless. In actual fact, God's a very present help in trouble, Psalm 46:1. He's not an absentee God. He doesn't go on vacation or call in sick. He said, I will not fail you or forsake you, Joshua 1:5. So when it seems he's far off, it's time for us to place our faith in his word that he's near. Quote, in him we live and move and have our being, Acts 17:28. If he were absent for 1 minute, he'd lose track of how many hairs are on our head, which he doesn't, Matthew 10:30. So we need to decide whether we'll trust our ever-changing feelings or, on the other hand, trust the never-changing Word of God that he's always with us. All the way from verse 1 to verse 13, the Psalm's in the voice of someone in a faithless mood. He's wringing his hands over the prosperity of the wicked and the absence of God. He's a Chicken Little. The sky's falling on everyone except on the wicked. Somehow the wicked escape. They keep prospering and partying their way through life at the expense of the weak. But at the end of the psalm, starting in verse 14, the speaker comes to his senses, grabs hold of his faith, and expresses confidence that God sees and judges all. He'll help the victim and the fatherless, break the arm of the wicked, and make him vanish out of the land. Yahweh's king forever. He hears the humble. He'll judge in favor of the fatherless and oppressed. The man who's of the earth will terrify no more. So the psalm presents two mindsets, the mindset of someone faithless in the first part or someone faithful in the second part. We can adopt either outlook. It's our choice. But the second one is the only reasonable one. Psalm 11 is next.